What has changed for 2024 and how is 2024 going to be different and how is it going to be better? Well, if everybody can see my screen, I'm hoping I'm still sharing. But right now, of course, we know that we've grown. The newsletter, there's updates that have come out to the newsletter. So please, whenever you get a chance, make sure that you're looking on the newsletters to see the discounts that are offered for being a member of Blacks in Performance Marketing that are awarded to us from different shows across several different industries within performance marketing. Also have it where any particular updates and opportunities, career opportunities as well, are found within our monthly newsletter that comes out probably in the first 5 to 10 days of each and every month. Also happy to say that I guess in the intro, I've been writing several of the intros and not using AI, even though I should perhaps. But what we asked is that every member of the steering committee start contributing towards writing the actual intro to the newsletters. So you guys, I think that we already have somewhat of an initial list, but that will be expanded by far. Just telling us exactly what is your, what do you think that will be interested to share with everybody. So keep that in mind. So stay tuned. And guys, if anybody has any questions or concerns as we kind of go through kind of some of the housekeeping of the organization, feel free to raise your hand or just to kind of shout out and I will stop right there. So again, I'm hoping everybody is seeing our LinkedIn again across the board. So right now we have it where we've got posts. If you can, feel free to go in and again, like, repost, things of that nature would be incredible. Again, our goal here is to make sure that we continue expanding our presence across the board to reach more and more people who would be interested in the organization and what we can bring. Okay. Let's see here. Kind of scrolling down. Happy to say that we've actually got the attention of other companies. So we know that we have Aberdoo, that was one of our last sponsors, where Active Prospect is our latest sponsor. Again, and so they will be coming on as a gold sponsor. So extremely excited about that. They have, again, they just signed the contract just a few days ago, went into effect February 1st. So you'll start seeing their logo on certain things. And again, people believe in what we're doing, which again, overall is just trying to make the industry stronger. Something that everybody will start seeing as well is that when we start opening up our meetings, our goal here is to recap. What is our mission? What is our purpose? What is our plan? Making sure that we never kind of drift or deviate from that particular point to kind of go from there. So extremely excited about having Active Prospect being a member of our team or a sponsor thereof. Something that also I want to make sure, as far as goes, we are all members in essence of Blacks in Performance Marketing. But what we did was we created a certificate, and I think everybody's familiar with it. But just in case you're not, what you can do is you can actually add this to your LinkedIn. So what we did was, again, here you'll find the instructions of how you do it. Again, going to your LinkedIn, we actually created a membership certificate for every single member of the group. So you'll actually be able to go in here, follow the quick instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4, and be able to actually post your certificate into your LinkedIn as well. Again, just shows that much more as far as what we're doing and how we're doing it together. Okay. Anybody have any questions, feel free to stop and let me know. Gotcha. So we've got that part. Then
hey, Sean, sorry. Where do you find what page is that certificate on the website? Sorry.
And you know what? Let's see here. I think
upload. Oh, this upload. Oh, that's
So Mariano, can you actually put into the chat, because this is actually the directions for the certificate. So and I think in the newsletter we always in the newsletter we actually say get your certificate. So that's where you can initially find it there as well.
Okay.
So that might be one part, but I think there's also an area on the website that you can actually download it as well. But feel free, I can put the directions Mariano, if you can put these directions into the chat, that would be great. Thank you. And let's see here. And I think a few of us already have it by far. I think Matt, I think you have it as well. So we can always share what it looks like. But guys, one of our goals also is the fact of making sure that we constantly find ways to network. Our goal here is it's great that we come together and we, again, a goal here is to support each other. But how great would it be to make sure that we're all doing business with each other? Let's grow financially together as well. So what we did was we actually, and this is going to be a part of the website, is that we're going to be developing actually video profiles of each individual. And what was crazy was that I was actually attending Legion World last month, and I bumped into James, and I asked James, James, what are you doing lately? He was like, Sean, and he started breaking down the 20 things that he's doing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know what? We've got to sit back and we've got to connect. And I said to myself, you can put things on paper, but until people kind of maybe hear a little bit more about what you're doing and how they could actually work with you, it becomes a challenge. So what we did was we created, and this will be a part of the actual site. I think, I'm not sure if this is mine or someone else's. Can you guys hear that?
No, we're not getting any audio.
Can't hear it? Okay. Mm-hmm. So there is audio playing. I guess it's in my ear, but you guys can't hear it. So I will stop it. I just came up with a sample version thereof. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask everybody who is a member and ally, we're going to ask you guys to create your own video of, again, maybe, and again, mine was a little long because I was just doing a sample thereof, but we have instructions to send that over so that we can make it a part of the website and move forward so people can actually do business with you. How great would that be? So anybody have any questions or concerns about that one? Yeah, see, around 45 seconds. I was long. So because when Todd shows up, people are like, "Ooh, who's this guy with the beard?" Yada yada. They have no idea what Todd does. So you know what? Why let's make sure that we kind of give him an opportunity to, share with everybody what he's doing and how he can do it and how you can potentially grow those particular connections. Okay, we have instructions on where to send that once you do the video, which is just simply with your iPhone. Or for those who have Androids, or we're going to pray for you. Second of all, yes, you can, send yours clips as well, and you can send it right over to the email address. What we would do is we ask that for everybody, when you're creating your video, there's a couple of things that we always want you to make sure that you mention. First, of course, is your name, your company, how long you've been a member of BIPM, again, organization position, and any details that you would want somebody to know. So I think Indala did a sample of this as well that we can send out and share. And these are things that we will sit back and we will find ways to post out there to the world as well as have it on our website. Okay. Anybody have any? Yep.
Yeah, Sean, do you want all videos to be done horizontally or vertically?
Again, you know what? That is a great point. I would say, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm thinking vertical. However, feel free to, if you want to send over an example of it being horizontal and we see how it fits in the framework. That's not something that I had thought about.
Okay. I would just say, I mean, we should probably all just do it vertically so that it's consistent.
Yep. Again, love it. Like I said, I was saying that I was giving leeway because if horizontal ends up being better, then you know what? Feel free to do the sample and let us know, and then we can set that protocol for everybody moving forward. Okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Anybody have any other questions in regards to this? Again, any particular maybe a fifth thing that should be listed in regards to what is said on the videos? The goal here is that this becomes a networking event. So, for example, Ian would sit back and state, again, name, company name, details in regards to the organizations and the conferences that he has, things of that nature, how to get involved. And, again, we'll make sure that we list, everyone's email address underneath. So, again, across the board. And this is for everyone to please participate in. So I'm looking forward to Eric seeing your face, Ian, Scott, everybody across the board. Okay,
Definitely.
excellent.
Hey,
Looking
John,
forward.
our video expert, Myrna, has informed us that vertical is best in the chat.
Well, thank you, Myrna. Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing everyone's face. Amanda, VJ, please. And Myrna, feel free to lead the way, especially with you with all of your 20 billion followers. Please feel free to lead the way. Okay. So guys, the next thing that I wanted to actually bring up, and this is something that is extremely exciting, for us as an organization. I had an opportunity to talk to Mike Faree, who's of course one of our founding members here. And again, as you guys know, he is the organizer of and owner of Legion World. And so what our goal here is that we want to get more and more people out to the conferences. Again, and how can we do so? Making sure that it is considered to be favorable for everybody to be in the same room, to sit back and chit chat, and to find ways to work together and work with each other across the board. So what I did was we came up with an idea, myself and the steering committee, and we ran this by Mike. And do note, again, the details are not worked out, but I wanted to make sure that, again, I kind of shared a little bit about what we were thinking about. And, God willing, we'll be able to make it happen. So, but the next thing on the agenda was, again, having it where, and right now I just called it the pregame. Having it where right now at several conferences, as you know, there is always that first day where there's not a lot happening. But if people actually flew in a little bit earlier, we could actually have something called the BIPM conference, where it would actually be a pregame too. And this is the one that would be for next January. So it's a year from now. And of course, we want to do more things. But right now, this is the one that we have kind of on the books, thanks to Mike, and again, still has to be finalized. No pressure, but pressure for us. But let's say pre-gaming to Legion World. So in essence, we would have it where on that Monday, and this is just some of the details of the proposal that we're working on, is that there would be a check-in time for 10 to 11. There will be a welcome for about a half hour or so. We would do some networking. We would have sessions 1, 2, maybe a snack session 3. And then from that point on, so it would be small, but a lot of networking involved in again, this is just a preliminary kind of agenda. But it's technically, think of it about 4 to 5 hours tops, where we have meaningful conversation along with a lot of networking, looking for maybe 1 or 2 maybe sponsors to help with some of the signage and things of that nature as expense that we would have. Everybody who would be attending, of course, the pregame conference would, of course, they would have to be registered for and to attend Legion World. So technically, when you do one, you have the other. This is open to all members across the board. And, of course, again, right now, we don't believe that there's going to be any cost to this. But even if we did, it would be very minimum. The goal here is that making sure that everybody's already locked in to attend the main event, which is the Legion World Conference. And again, show up a little earlier to be able to participate on some things that we believe matter in a big way for us as well as for the overall industry, and kind of go from there. Mike, I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit, because again, I know that things are not completely worked out. And so, yes, things can succeed, things can fail, and that would not be on you. That would probably be more on us. But is there anything that you wanted to share in regards to this particular opportunity?
Well, I think you covered it quite well, but I think it's a really exciting time, a really great opportunity to bring the group together in a very specific manner that's talking about specific sessions, and we have the space to do that. So I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to work with you, Sean, and helping with it. But I like I said, I think my only comment is I'm excited that we can provide this to the group and really bring everybody together in one specific location.
Well, we so appreciate your push and your again your backing of it since day one by far. So again, our goal here, guys, is to continue to grow and find opportunities for us to do maybe more pre-gaming at other conferences as well. But this year, when it comes to Legion World, it would seem like a perfect opportunity. I wish we had come up with the idea probably 6 months ago, so we could have been able to participate in this last one that just happened last month. But right now, this is something that we're planning out for. And again, looking for everyone's feedback. Again, we're going to be talking about sessions. The good thing is we've got 11 months to, in essence, quote unquote, plan. But if we have, we know who might be some of our speakers. Would our sessions need to be 45 minutes? Do we want them to be 30 minutes? Do we have it where, again, how much networking time? Because ultimately, the goal here is to be able to grow and understand that, again, make sure that everybody feels extremely comfortable in these settings. So often we talked about in the beginning where there was only, one, two, or three individuals of color who would go to these conferences, and it would be, again, 2,000 of 2,000 people in attendance and only 2 or 3 people of color. And now those numbers have grown, but not grown tremendously, but they've grown. And our goal here is I think it's about a comfort level and making sure that we receive everybody. Again, across the board, whatever minority base it might be, women, again, making sure that everybody has a level of comfort. And so we can sit back and we can have kind of a pregame that invites everybody to the party, and it invites everybody to sit back and say, guess what? We can have guaranteed sit down time with everybody who is participating. And then from that point on, be able to attend the much larger conference. And, based off of where it was held, Legion World, in this example, it was held, of course, in Hollywood at the Hard Rock Hotel. There was actually rooms that were for kind of side rooms that where people would eat or have have meetings. These rooms, I think, in conference where it could sit maybe 200 people or so. So at the end of the day, it ends up being where there's no particular additional expense to our sponsor, Legion World. We would just have it where we would set up that side room that's already designated for the bigger conference to facilitate this actual pre-game conference for us. So that's the idea. Does anybody have any questions about the conference? Definitely want to open the floor. Okay, excellent. Well, I hope everybody, feel free to shoot me an email or text if you have any questions or anything you want to add. We will be asking people to join, in essence, a committee as we put things together so that we can make sure that it is the most meaningful pre-game conference possible. And, open for all ideas and suggestions. This would be our first, but of course, we're looking to do this more often, and bring people to other conferences as well. As you guys know, we are getting, discounts and invites to several conferences. Again, LeadsCon, and the list goes on and on. Our goal here is if we can sit back and find a way to have a presence at other conferences, we want to do so, again, across the board. So please feel free to send over any ideas and questions and comments about it. For this coming year, or actually for 2024, again, we will start having some we have a steering committee, and our goal here is to actually have at least 3 steering committee meetings per year. So if there's anybody who's involved in the call today, please, and if you want to be a part of the steering committee, feel free to shoot over an email over to the I think it's members@bipm.com, or to me directly if you want to be a part of the steering committee. And my question to those who are here who are already a part of the committee was thinking about having 3 meetings per year. Todd or Matt or Myrna or Indala, what are your thoughts about, should we have 3? Should we have 2? What are your thoughts in regards to the meetings?
This is Matt here. I think we probably can do 4, meaning we do 1 a quarter.
Yeah,
Fair.
I'm in agreement with that as well. Yeah, these are all virtual, right? It's just virtual. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
let's go. Well, whatever.
Fair enough. So what I will do is I will send out a invite. We'll find some dates that works best for everyone's schedule and kind of go from there. So we can start confirming that so we can, as a team, continue to find ways to build the organization. Something that, and again, I think the second question really is about for the steering committee as well, but I want to make sure that as much as I love to hear myself talk sometimes and some days, I also like to be quiet. Amazing enough. I know you don't believe it. But I would love to have it where some of our meetings, well, we will keep it the same format. The fact of having it where we will pick and choose for other members of the steering committee to host the meeting. So let's say, again, whoever it might be will, be able to kind of lead that meeting over and go from there. Okay. We already talked about the invite as well as the reminders across the board and kind of go from there. So I'm going to open the floor to other questions or comments in regards to, again, the year 2024. What can we do that can make us bigger and better, more efficient, so that we can continue to thrive and be a support system to within our industry across the board? What can we do? What should we actually have on that agenda so that we can continue to find ways to do that as well as just grow? Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any suggestions? Feel free to raise your hand or speak out.
Hey, Sean. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys could consider putting up like a job board or even like submitting resumes on the BIPM website that then could get passed amongst all of our companies.
And
just as a way to get people looking to get into the industry rather than just focusing on internal companies and anybody that wants to get involved.
the answer is yes, we can. We actually built a job board, an opportunity board on the website for career opportunity, and we can actually expand it. Right now, there is only one that we have. Actually, it's Verix, and it's a senior director position. So let me just share my screen really quickly. And Brad, we can always expand on it, but here on our page, we have career opportunity. And again, being able to list more and more while you're hiring. And so we try to make it very easy for people to add their opportunities to the page. But then to your point, making sure that we find ways to further promote it to the rest of the world and making sure that maybe we have 1 or 2 posts per month via LinkedIn to talk about, visit this particular page to see the opportunities. Yep, but great point. Thank you.
Hey, Sean. The other thing too, to Brett's point, though, is are the individuals, right? Is there a way to promote individuals that are looking to get in the industry or looking for new job opportunities? I know, Mike, I've seen a number of posts that you've either shared or commented on of individuals that are looking for job changes. And there could be a way that we can try to bring that to the forefront within this organization to help those that are looking for any sort of career changes.
So more of the job seekers opposed to the
Correct.
opportunities. Okay. So yes, without question, you know what? You guys ask for it, we will build it. So we'll find a way to best present that maybe underneath this particular area. And again, so job seekers, and we'll come up. And if anybody's seen an example of any other company or website that does that, please feel free to send that over. Would love to, because right now we're going to kind of build something from scratch to right now. If I'm thinking about it, would say kind of job seekers and, and it would kind of be a listing like this. But if you see if you know of a better example of how other people promote those opportunities, feel free to send it over and we can build it accordingly. Okay.
Yeah, Sean, the other thing I was going to mention is obviously an ongoing, um, matter that we deal with is figuring out content, right, for our monthly meetings. I think it's important for us to understand from others, like what's important to them. Like, what are some of the topics that we can actually dig deeper into? Um, we recently had a series on AI as an example, and Arvel, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with everyone. But there could be other areas as well, and I think that's what really provides value within the monthly calls is, what are the important topics that we can discuss as a group. So again, any feedback from anyone out there would be very helpful there too.
Okay. Great point. In fact, so let's open the floor to that. Is there any particular topics that anybody here is thinking that we should explore? Is there individuals, on top of that, is there individuals that you perhaps have met that can talk to us about a particular subject matter that could be of great interest? We'd love to sit back and, have them join us.
What might be of interest as I think about this is, in our industry right now, we are faced with, this whole FCC change that will go into effect a year from now. I guess one of the questions is how many people within our organization are aware of these changes and the implications that it may have to their business? And is there a way that we can, even reach out to someone like Troutman Amin to come on and speak about these changes to make sure that we are educated about this? I know that there's a lot of webinars and things that are going on, but I think it may be valuable just to make it specific to us, to this group, to make sure that everybody's paying attention to what's happening.
Love it. I wrote that down. So the FCC changes as far as those being a topic. You know what? And feel free to raise your hand. So I want to make sure that I'm not talking over anybody. One other topic that I think I would love to do is, and I think, Brad, you brought this up in the past, is the fact of how do we help people get into the industry across the board? So something that we actually had built with, where I guess was built by Barbara was the fact of giving people an opportunity to understand how best to become an incredible lead generator. And I think that it was nice to put together that framework, but maybe walking through how somebody does it, because sometimes a picture or words go better than just an actual the paper and the words. So let's maybe present that across the board. So I think that's something. Actually, and then I'm thinking about the fact of having each one of our sponsors now actually have an opportunity to have the floor to sit back and be able to promote certain things. So, for example, I just spoke to Active Prospect yesterday, and they actually have an Active Prospect 4.0. So I think the majority of people who are with them, and my company is one of them, we actually have Active Prospect 3.0. And now with this 4.0 adds this, all these different features, something to that nature as well. So we love some of the general conversation as well, along with the fact of any subject matter that we believe is going to affect, equity and minority base would be great as well. So Amanda, if you ever have any new members of Link Unite who you want to sit back and say, hey, you know what, we would love to do this, that might be great. I think we lost Myrna, but right now we have it where, I think it's, was it Women's Month? I think, is that next month? I think
next month. Yes.
Next month. So again, right now, I think we had you guys take over, the actual meeting for the month of March last year. And, again, and I'm looking forward to having, I think you recommended, I think it was 3 of your members who did it. I'm looking forward to coming back to you again this year. So do know you'll get a call from me, or maybe, you and Matt
Always
can
welcome.
facilitate that.
Totally
I appreciate it. And so just making sure that we touch on things that are extremely relevant across the board. So anybody else have any particular maybe subject matters or topics that we should consider for 2024? Gotcha. Okay. So now now that we talked through the
Maybe
topic.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe Mike and I could work together. Mike Free and I could work together maybe at some point in 2024 to talk about how to get involved and get representation on speaking faculties at conferences, just like best practices. We could talk specific to our events, but we could talk just kind of generally with other industry events, tips on how to get involved. I don't know if that's useful, but
Yeah. No, I think that that would be great. Again, right now, keep in mind, guys, we are leaders of our organizations for a reason. The fact is that we're not shy. We sit back and we make the bold moves. But the majority of people, again, in this world are not so bold per se. And so they are sitting back and they're looking for an opening. They're looking for something to be made extremely obvious. Looking for representation at a particular conference, and they say, "Oh, you know what? I will now go to this particular event or whatever the case might be because their friend went, or because again they feel more comfortable at that event for whatever reason." Our goal here is again if we can find ways to open the door where we invite them without having to be over the top, but just to make sure everybody knows, guess what? Everybody is welcome. We want everybody to, sit back and participate and learn about what's going on in the industry. And again, and even though everybody does not look like you or you, everybody is welcome again across the board. So I just think that sets a tone. So Ian, I think that would be great. And again, you let us know if you need a platform for the meeting. We can definitely facilitate that as well.
yeah, well,
Okay.
maybe after maybe that's more kind of May, June timing when I think Mike and I might both have a little bit more bandwidth there. And not to volunteer you, Mike, but yeah, be probably better together. Yeah.
No, all good. It's a good idea.
You see, Mike, everybody's always volunteering. Volunteer again. You're a wanted man. So now that we've talked about some of those particular things, you know what? I want to open the floor for more. How can we be the best organization that we possibly can be? If it's to add to other or existing organizations, if it is speaking engagements, making sure that we, let people know that we are here, that we are growing. What can we do to be of assistance? Again, I love the fact of the job seekers. I think that that was a great opportunity. What else could we do to make sure that we are following the purpose of promoting, again, this equity? Mike?
Yeah, Sean, we've talked about it a number of times privately, I think, and maybe early on, Chad, Matt, not you, we sort of talked about it as well. But, every time we do a conference somewhere, I think it'd be really great to connect with one of the, Black union groups at a college and get them involved for free to come to the industry, to come to the show, to get exposed to the industry as a whole for free, and someone could show them around, whatever, be there. But you and I have sort of looked into it, and then we kind of get distracted and move on to do something else a little bit. But like, for example, we've got lead obviously in January, so we got a long ways away, but Fort Lauderdale's, I think there's a university there. There's obviously Miami. There's a number of different schools that likely have Black union groups there that we could reach out to go, hey, we're doing this. We have this performance marketing lead generation conference coming to town, and we'd love to offer 4 or 5 passes to or more to individuals that are a part of the group, and connect with other Blacks in performance marketing members, and just to get to know the industry, because as you know and everybody else knows, nobody knows this industry until you fall into it one way or the other. And so I think exposure at a young age college about the industry could be really, really beneficial. And it's probably relatively easy. I think we just need kind of some assistance, to do that. So I guess I'm putting it out there to the group and if there's connections, someone may have gone to school at Miami or Fort Lauderdale or anywhere in the Florida area that could maybe assist or have connections would be really, really helpful.
Love it. Mike, thank you for bringing that back up. I know it was something on our plate probably like a year or two ago that kind of fell through. So now that we know that, of course, Legion World is located right, for this coming year, will be in the Hollywood area. We'll look for some local schools. And if there's anything, again, again, Legion, where LeedsCon is, we could do the same thing there if that is of interest to you. But yeah, and having it where one or several members of Blacks in Performance Marketing can kind of walk them through and introduce them to, the industry. What's going on? What is this person doing? What is this person doing? And then walking over to like a Brad and saying, hey, Brad, you know what? Can you let them know a little bit more about what your company does? Those introductions, again, across the board, I think could be extremely, extremely cool. I see it right now where, let's say, whoever it is, a Chad or Matt was walking somebody around the conference and sitting back and saying, hey, let me introduce you to Todd, who does this, and whatever it might be. So great, Mike, thank you so much. I wrote that one down, and we'll sit back and see what we can do. I mean, we'll make it happen. I think that right now, again, I know my team, we have the bandwidth to be able to find, but we just need to make sure that somebody is going to be like a host and ambassador who does the walking around of the individual and things of that nature. But we'll find the local schools. We just need, again, yourself who's, there, and Ian, again, if there's something that works for you, we'll find it out. But the great suggestion. Thank you, guys.
Sean, I want to mention that Brad made a comment in the chat about intern opportunities for the college students. And I think that's phenomenal, because if you think about how many companies show up, as vendors for the conferences, you can just imagine that there would be, if we can put that out there and make it known that we are specifically looking for those types of things, I think that would be very helpful.
Excellent. Thank you. I got to look
Probably
at the chat more.
coincides with that same conversation, right? As soon as you get a hold of the president of that group at whatever college and say, hey, we not only do we have this conference that they can come and get exposed to, but if it's something that you're they end up liking or interested in, maybe their marketing degree, business degree, whatever it may be, we can also facilitate potentially the internships as well.
Love it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that'd be great to walk the kids around, and I've been to every single conference forever. I know all the companies there, so it's pretty easy to tell the story as you're walking around. And I mean, another comment, I know that the influencers are such a big deal now, and I know a lot of kids have aspirations of that, but that's not too many clicks away from performance marketing. So there might be kids that are interested in as a career or as a side hustle or any of that might not have what it takes to be an influencer, but maybe enough to be a performance marketer in a way. So there might be some interest.
So to that point, I think what we'll do is I'll get us jump started where we'll create kind of the platform for this influencer ambassador internship kind of opportunity. I'm going to send it out to yourself, for example, Brad, and a few others, so that you guys can critique it a little bit and sit back and say, well, you know what, let's add this point, take that point out, whatever it might be, so that we can perfect it. Then once we have that, then we'll seek out and get to some of the local colleges and universities and see what we can do that are surrounding the conferences that are upcoming and pending, and see what we can do to get some bring some of them to the conference. I think that would be great. This is wonderful. And do note, it can expand outside of just even the conferences. So the fact of how great would it be to have it where doing certain meetings, could be every meeting, or it could just be several, maybe 4 or 5 throughout the year, when we know we're going to be having certain subject matters, that we can invite some of these college influencers to our meetings as well. to kind of participate, especially if we have meetings that we're talking about different things that's going on throughout the industry. Again, bring more note to that so we can start that process. So great suggestion. Thank you. I'm looking through the chat. Scott, are you still with us? You suggested something as well. Did you want to bring that up?
Sorry about that. I had to get you back off mute.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just said that we had a position open and we would love to be able to post that position somewhere on your website. So if you'd like, I'll be happy to send the posting over to you.
I would love that without question. In fact, what's interesting is that to the points that have been brought up by Brad and and others, I guess people are just still not aware that we actually have an opportunities page. So we've got to find a way to further promote that. So guys, you know what? So this is something that I realize is that even when we put things out for via Blacks in Performance Marketing, that what we're doing, not many people follow company websites. They will follow it, but they more follow the individuals. So if you guys, again, if you can make sure and just confirm that you are following Blacks in Performance Marketing on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and then have an opportunity to repost. Right now, we need everyone's participation. So you see a post, repost it. So, because there's a lot more people following you. You guys are gram famous. LinkedIn, everybody wants a piece of Todd, or whoever it might be. Melina has like 2 billion women following her by far. Again, so we can do if we can help the cause out by reposting, and what we'll do is we'll create some posts about these opportunities as well. So, but Scott, please send that over to me. Thank you. And anyone else? We have just a minute or two left. And outside of that, I want to make sure that everybody, is there anything that we did not touch on that we believe that could be helpful for the organization in 2024? Again, we've had an opportunity, as we started off with, each and every year we've grown. We've gotten to a point where, like I said, we started with 7 members and now we've got 400 people, 400 members and allies, and that's wonderful. What can we do right now with that trajectory? We should be able to grow potentially, maybe, I don't even know, maybe 100 people per year. I'm not sure. But it's encouraging that, people are coming and believing in the overall subject matter. Is there anything else that we may be missing that we should consider touching on to make sure that we are a viable organization for now and for years and years and years and years to come? Anything that we missed? No? Gotcha. So I think with that in mind, the one last thing that I did come up with, if you are, again, if let's say you get another newsletter, if you get something on LinkedIn that you think would be meaningful for us to sit back and consider putting into our newsletter or making sure that the members are aware of. So, there's always something happening. It could be something in a state that is crazy. The state of Florida, as much as I love Florida, the state of Florida is crazy. Again, across the board, that would affect the members of the organization. Feel free to send that link over to the website, and we'll let you know exactly. So we could actually do some research on it, maybe repost, or find a way to have it where we let members know how that particular subject matter might affect the members of the organization. So feel free to share, because again, you guys know a lot more than just a few people, and go from there. Okay? Excellent. So with that in mind, guys, thank you so much for joining us for this working meeting as we make sure that we, again, continue to find ways to grow the organization. I hope that you guys are happy with what we've been doing already. And again, you are the most important part of who we are. So again, as our good friend Matt would always say, let's continue the conversation, and thank you for being a part of the conversation. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.